Hello friends, Zachary Stockill here from retroactivejealousy.com, and in today's video I'm going to talk about when it is appropriate for retroactive jealousy sufferers to go through their partner's social media. If you benefit from this video, if you benefit from my work in general, please take a moment to let me know by clicking the like button below and making sure you are subscribed to my channel. Okay, interesting question came in from a reader/viewer named Kevin. Kevin writes, "You often encourage those who follow you not to go social media digging through your partner's past." Yes, correct. However, what if seeing things on your partner's previous social media posts reveals to you that you and your partner actually have incompatible values? That is there ever a time when looking through your partner's social media stuff is a good thing, if it shows you that the person you're dating is not the right person for you? Okay. Very interesting question, Kevin, and I don't think I've received this question before, so thanks for that. Short version is, a lot of you probably know how I feel about social media. I use social media primarily to connect with people like you, connect with people who are interested in my work. You can follow me on Instagram, shameless plug alert, at ZF Stockill. You can find me on Facebook, my Facebook page, shameless plug alert. Aside from that, it's a fine balance managing social media because you don't want to get carried away with it. You don't want to get sucked into it. You don't want to be wasting hours of your life fighting with people on social media or stalking your partner's past if you're a retroactive jealousy sufferer. Social media is a tricky balancing act of trying to actually use it as a tool and not get used by it. But that's another conversation. I've made other videos on this topic, which you can find if you search for social media on my channel. That said, Kevin, addressing your question directly, number one, I would say, remember that social media isn't real. What do I mean by that? I mean, someone's Instagram page is not them. That doesn't represent their fundamental nature. That doesn't represent who they are. My Instagram page doesn't represent fundamentally who I am. Your Facebook page does not represent who you are. Social media, to a great extent, isn't real. To a certain extent, we're all trying to put out the best versions of ourselves. We're presenting a highly curated version of ourselves to the world. So I would just start there. If you're trying to assess a person's character by their social media, I really think that's a poor way to go about that because you won't really get a handle on who they actually are by going through their social media posts. To know who someone really is, pay little attention to what they post on social media. Don't pay a lot of attention to what they say. Watch what they do. Observe their behavior in real life over an extended period of time, rather than looking to social media to really get a handle on who they are. That said, all that preamble, first I would say it's important for you to consider your own social media habits and your own social media standards. What do I mean by this? I know in my heart of hearts, so I'll back up for a minute. I live in Bali, Indonesia, for the moment. And if you didn't know, Bali is this tropical island in Indonesia. It's one of the top vacation destinations in the world, or at least it was before the pandemic, before the coronavirus last year. But anyway, Bali attracts, and it still attracts, even through the coronavirus pandemic, a number of self-described influencers and thought leaders. Oh, I hate that term so much, thought leader. Anyway, it attracts a lot of people who basically make their living on social media through their Instagram pages, through their Facebook pages. They post and they post and they post and you probably know how a lot of influencers make their living through, promoting products and promoting themselves on social media. Now, I know one of Zach's social media standards. I am not opposed to my partner using social media. I use social media, it's not a big deal. However, I couldn't date, seriously, someone who was obsessed with social media. Someone who had to post pictures, 500 pictures a day of exactly what they ate and where they went, and here's me at the gym, and here's me in my car, and here's me at the bar, and oh my God, for me, I really feel like doing that and acting that way and living that way brings your attention away from the moment. You find yourself just performing for other people all the time rather than having real interactions. Again, I use social media, absolutely, but I'm not posting 800 times a day of exactly everything I'm doing. And for me, I'm not judging people who do, but I'm saying for me, in my life, the kind of person that I want to bring into my life, that would be a deal breaker for me. If someone was obsessed with social media, spending all day looking at their phone, posting constantly, and really just, in that mindset where they're never really present, they're just on their phone, on social media all the time. That's one of my social media standards, if you want to call it that. So consider what your own social media standards are and what's okay with you and what's not in that regard. Now, in terms of their past posts on social media, or perhaps their current posts, I mean, this is a delicate balancing act for retroactive jealousy sufferers, engaging with social media when you are prone to some kind of retroactive jealousy. Because what you don't want to do, what you want to avoid, is going down the social media rabbit hole, spending hours going through their past posts and who's this guy that my girlfriend's with and who's that girl that my boyfriend's talking to and what did you do 3 years ago at this bar and what if she went home with this guy that night. And you really want to avoid that. That's going to just be a serious drag in your time. It's going to probably inspire more anxiety and more mental movies. It's probably going to flare up your retroactive jealousy. You really want to avoid that. However, if something in your gut is just not feeling right, and you feel like your partner's social media use is a problem, or frankly, there might be some serious red flags in your partner's social media account. And by their account, I mean on their public page. I am not advocating, and I would never advocate you hack into your partner's phone and look through their messages. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about on their public social media page. If you get a bit of a weird feeling in your gut, you feel like there might be some red flags that you might need to be aware of, and on a serious red flags, then I think it's worthwhile to have an overview of your partner's social media posts. Go through their timeline or whatever, as the case may be, and get a sense of what they're about and what they're showing or not showing and all the rest. But I would say put a time limit on this and have a specific objective for doing this, and don't fall into the pattern, don't fall into the habit of doing this every day or doing this all the time. Believe me, that will not cure your retroactive jealousy at all. This is just going to make things worse. However, if you want to get a sense of what they're like on social media, because you feel like something might be slightly off, I don't think it's a terrible idea to go through their history a little bit to get a sense of what they've been posting on social media. Because although social media isn't real, and that is not the real them, sometimes indeed it can reveal some clues about a person's character, and frankly, sometimes it can reveal whether they're trustworthy or not. But above all, in closing, I would just say, just remember this idea that social media isn't real. And if you really want to get a sense of who they are, pay attention to their behavior now. Pay attention to their actual behavior over an extended period of time in your relationship right now. Because again, although some people might post some things on social media that are questionable, I'm sure most of us have done that at one point or another, people do grow. And people do change. And sometimes you might post something on social media 2 or 3 years ago, completely forget about it, and someone brings it up to you and it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of cringeworthy. That was a mistake or whatever. Give your partner the benefit of the doubt. If there's a few things where you're a bit like, why would you post that? Remember that people grow and change, especially if you're in your 20s or 30s. There's a lot of growth, a lot of changing going on there. Give your partner the benefit of the doubt to the extent that you can. And above all, just try to assess their character based on their behavior in the present, not the past. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for your question. If you found this valuable or interesting in some way, please take a moment to let me know so I keep making more videos. And the best way you can let me know right now is to either leave a comment below or click the like button. And please make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll talk to you again very soon.